Hi, this is Graham Jeacocke. So once again, we have King's College representative. And who is it? It's Ricky Gervais. Philosophy. Seriously, the level must surely be slipping if Ricky Gervais goes on media platforms in a public way and says, oh, it's a right to have the freedom to offend people. Really, Ricky, is this the limit of your creativity, your imagination? You see, what is more important? If you want to have the right to offend someone, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Okay? So let's have a Q&A of sorts. Ricky, if you want to offend someone, first it has to have value. I mean, I want to illustrate this with a man, okay? Bruce Lee, right? What did he say? He said, since his area of expertise was the martial arts, what he said, I am not going to do anything unless it is functional. Right. So bear this in mind, okay? So Ricky is a keen advocate of this Count, what's his name? Count Bakula or someone. What's his name? Count Dracula, okay. To offend someone, okay. But here's the thing. This thing that you want Count Dracula to have, you have to ask this question of the Count. Does this video that you want to produce and direct and star in, does it have any value for humanity? I mean, is there any merit to it? Or is it just because you have the technology available and you have the time to do it and everybody's doing it and you want to be popular, I guess. You want to do the same things everybody else is doing. You want to be up to date, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I do it. But is it relevant? Because if we look at psychology of behaviour, especially in Dracula and all these atheist comedians and intellectuals, oh no, we must protect the people from the bad people that oppress us and say we can't offend anybody. Actually, your response shows that there is no value in what you do. The fact that you wouldn't be willing to put up with it shows that you don't actually believe in its merit. You accept punishment because you accept what you have done. If you watch the end of a Bruce Lee film, I think it was, what was it? The second film he made, Fists of Fury, where he plays a top martial arts student and his master was poisoned and he takes revenge. But at the end of the film, what does he say? I will take my punishment. He didn't say those actual words, okay? But he said he'll take punishment for the actions that he committed because he knew that his actions were important, no matter what your opinions about his actions were. You understand? Now, if we go from another man in history, further back, Jesus Christ, okay? Now, he offended people, right? But he was willing to die. And you have to ask yourself, why was he willing to die? Because his death was important. It was a message to humanity. He had seen God. Therefore, if he had seen God, he had personal evidence that God exists. And he wanted to show everybody the value of having the same belief system as Jesus. He had disciples. He was teaching his disciples the ways of God. Now, Count Dracula and all these other atheist comedians, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Fry, and whoever else there was, when you cried out, you generalized it. You weren't specific. You never asked Count Dracula, you never even asked yourself, was it worthwhile to create the video? You sidelined the issue, if that's the correct phrase. You deviated from addressing the specific issue. You used the general expression, oh, we want the freedom not to offend. You see, that is the coward's way out. But atheists usually are cowards. There you go.